Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Struggling Hunters. Today, we got an exciting podcast, really exciting podcast. So, you definitely want to stay tuned on this one. We'll get right into it, get right into the fun. This week, uh, I don't want to really give it away, but I kind of have to give it away, I guess. But um, Joe has exciting news to tell everybody on the podcast. I'm really excited for him. So, Joe, I'm going to kind of keep it short and sweet, I guess, and just hand it off to you to tell everybody the big news.
Well, as you can tell probably from the thumbnail that we used about the about a curse uh, that as me and Eric been hunting together over the last 3 or 4 years now, we've kind of felt like we've been cursed, and that meaning that we haven't been able to fill our tags. After turkey season last year, deer hunting or elk and deer last year. Uh, we've had great times in the woods, but we just felt like as far as filling a tag, we just been cursed for not being able to do so. And hopefully, this turkey season, I broke that curse for the rest of the year. But I got my turkey. Got it on a weekday after work. Um, uh, to say that I am a turkey hunter, I don't know that I could truly say that, but I am excited. I am a little proud, I guess, that to have filled my tag. Um, One of those things, we talk about being a struggling hunter, and this year of keep pushing through the struggle. I think that the key words there is keep pushing, and that's what got me my turkey this year. Um, like I said, it wasn't like I said, it wouldn't quite call myself a turkey hunter, but um, because I kept going out, kept trying to be where the turkeys could be in the area. It's what got me my turkey. And with that being said, I guess I'll explain a little bit on what I mean there. Um, so if the previous podcast I talked about seeing turkeys, I think it was like Monday night. I think like every Monday night, a couple times I was like, oh, I saw turkeys yesterday, or every Tuesday when we did our podcast. At Monday night, I said, I saw some turkeys, and that's what happened last week. Um, saw some turkeys. I tried to get on them and couldn't get on them. So I was going through one going at them through one way, and so I thought maybe I'd come around and go this other direction, and hunting after work. Got home from work, had got some water. Um, I think got a little bit to eat, a couple granola bars, I think, and just took off up the hill. Parked the truck. I think I parked the truck about. I think not that it really matters, but just trying to give you guys a timeline. Parked the truck at about 5:15. Got stuff on my pack, on my back, and loaded up and headed. I was about 5:30. Um, so, and this week in Utah, that week, particular week in Utah, was a little bit warm and a little bit on the hot side, and I had to climb a hill, and I guess a mountain. It wasn't just a little hill. It was elevation gain was pretty quick in some areas along the hike. Um, and it's kind of funny. So as I'm going up, I come across turkey poop, and I was like, oh, maybe I'll just sit here and call. Like I see poop, and it was fairly fresh. It wasn't like it was dried out. It was still green and didn't look like it'd been there awfully too long. So it was almost like, I'm gonna sit here. I'm gonna sit here and call. But in the back of my head, I was like, but I got to go to my pin where I've seen the turkeys. Like and I'm not the world's quickest hiker. And I was trying to get up there about 6, but I think I got up in the area about like just after 6. I think it was like 6:10, 6:15. So it took me like 45 minutes, I think, to hike like just under a mile. But as I was going up, I had to stop once or twice. It wasn't that my legs were giving out, but I could just feel like my heartbeat. I just really pumping. I was like, oh, I better relax for a minute. And I wasn't like I was hiking in the woods, where I was in direct sunlight. There was no shade I was hiking in, so that made it a little difficult, getting a little warm. And stopped once, cooled down, slowed my heart rate, got going again, and then pulled out my Onyx and was looking at where my pin was and where I was, and I was like, well, I'm getting close to where I saw the turkeys. I need to get in. If I'm going off my pin, I need to get into the hunt mode. Like I for the first little bit, because I'm kind of close to town, I don't put a shell in my shotgun until I get out a little bit, so that way if I get stopped, I don't have a loaded gun or anything. And or if I happen to see something a little too close to town, it's not like I'm like, oh, I'm gonna hurry up and shoot. So like I said, I get up a little higher. I was like, okay, I gotta get in hunt mode. And as I'm hiking, pretty much like a open faced hillside, I look up in front of me and I'm like, oh, okay, there's a big bush up there. It's casting a big shadow that I can go stand behind. And I'll that's my goal point. I'm gonna go up there, I'm gonna sit down, I'm gonna cool off, I'm gonna get out my water, I'm gonna slow my heart rate back up. I'm gonna just kind of, I guess, compose myself before I get into the woods, or into my hunting area, so that way I'm not into my hunting area and just sweaty and just a heavy heartbeat, and just not really, like more focused on how I'm breathing, not focused on hunting. And so I get up there, and I think just a little bit before that, I rack a shell in, and I get up to where this bush is, and I just, as I start to step into the shade, this turkey like flies up from this sagebrush bush. Just, it was probably 5 yards in front of me. So, and I was like, oh, I think I see a beard hanging out the breast of that sucker. But I kind of jumped up and flew, then it kind of took off running. Then it jumped up again and it started to fly. And I was like, well, shoot, it's flying. Like, it's gone, but like I stayed on it, and it flew off to my right, made kind of like a half circle thing, and came back almost in front of me, then landed and took off, kind of, kind of kept walking. And like I saw another glimpse of a beard, and like, well, there's my beard. And he wasn't stopped, but he was going away from me walking, and placed the, doing the whole trying to tell myself where to line my bead up along the rail, along the shotgun, to have it line up with my eye, not just place the bead on the bird and then pull the trigger, trying to, line everything up like it's supposed to be. And so then I pulled the trigger and I dropped it, and I was like, whoa, it dropped. It's down. And it flopped around for a second, but let it. And as I was standing there, I could hear some cooing coming from a bush just kind of off to my left. And I was like, oh, I wonder if that's another one. Or I was like, it's probably a hen setting on eggs. So I was like, I'm not gonna worry about it. Like, if I didn't flush it off with all this noise, I don't want to like bother it if it's setting on eggs. But so I sat there for a minute and pull out my camera, kind of gave a little story recorded talking about what just happened, and gave the wife a call, and I was like, hey, I got my turkey down. Did the whole thing, went down, took my pictures, posed with it, and brought it back down home and cleaned it up down here at the house. And I don't know what else to really say, but it was roughly about a 40-yard shot. About a 7-inch beard, just if I stretched it out, about at the longest hair was about 7 inches. My spurs were, I think they were 3/4, but they weren't sharp. It's kind of interesting. They weren't sharp. Like they were more rounded than coming to a point. So he must have been. And the tail feathers were kind of broken, and I don't know. It sounds, I hate to admit it, but like I don't know if I shot him off, or if he was just a fighter and he just was fighting, because his wing feathers, the ones that when they puff up, they do their little dance and waddling. His wing feathers that would be dragging the ground were all beat up and stuff and tore up, that you can tell he's been doing a lot of strutting. So I don't know if he was a fighter, and like I said, being that his tail feathers weren't all that great. But as I was prepping the tail feathers for a mount, I got looking at some of them that are broken, and in the feather itself, the couple of them are kind of like cut in a straight hard line, then they stop on a hard line, so it almost looks like they were cut, not like broken or anything.
Oh, that's
So
weird.
my first thought is maybe I shot which I could have been, 40 yards out there. My pattern could have opened up enough to take off some of the feathers, and like I placed the bead of the barrel, kind of at the base of the neck. So I need, once I get the feathers all ready, and got to put them on the mount, I'll take another closer look at them. But I because I was kind of jealous, because everyone has like these pretty tail feathers that they're posting, and mine's like missing 2 or 3 ends of them are broken off, and like, well,
Yeah. Well, but it's exciting though for your first turkey.
right, yeah. And my first turkey. I was trying to think, like, I know I hunted 1 or 2 years as a kid in Idaho, and then last year I tried. So I mean, I'll technically, well, I don't even know if I had a tag, so I guess I was hunting. So this would have been like, maybe 3 to 4 years, maybe 3 years, probably 3 years on trying to get a turkey.
Yeah.
I think I had 1 or 2 tags as a kid growing up, and then I had tag last year and then tag this year. So that broke the curse.
Yeah, man, that's so exciting. That's so exciting. So I guess to throw a couple questions out there, you kind of ended up doing mostly like a run and gun style, huh?
Yeah, that's what I mean by, like, it wasn't my calling skills that brought him in. It was the fact that I was out every day in roughly the area that I've been seeing seeing the turkeys is what got me the turkey. It wasn't my my calling techniques, because I don't think they're all that amazing. But just kind of, like I said, being in the area roughly where I've been seeing them, and is what got it, not sitting at home on the couch.
Yeah. Well, that's
But
important. That's an important part of hunting.
and I am lucky enough to be able to hunt after work and have them up here. And it's not like it was all that hard of a drive to get to them. The hard part was hiking to where they were.
Yeah. Pretty steep terrain.
Yeah, yeah. It was. I need to keep at it, I think, so that way I don't get out of shape, stay in shape for the rest of the season. But yeah, I brought it home and cleaned it up at home, and I let the dog sniff it a little bit, and he wasn't quite sure what it was, but he'd come out, sniff on it, and he'd leave it alone. He didn't bug it, try to tear it up or anything. He'd sniff on it and then go about his business.
Oh, really? That's interesting.
Yeah.
I'm surprised
Yeah.
that he didn't try to grab it and play with it for a while.
Right.
You must have a well-trained dog, is what it comes down to.
Well, yeah, he's well trained in some areas.
That's cool. Well, that's exciting. I mean, I mean, yeah, you definitely put in the work. You've been able to get out after work and go up there, and you got her done, man. And like you said, broke the curse. And here, it's a good feeling. It's a good feeling. I'm so excited for you and so happy that you got her done. Um, what style? So you already had the breast?
I had the turkey tenders, I guess is what they called them. They're in between like the breast and the sternum, like the rib cage.
Okay.
I separated that out, and then we cooked those up on Sunday. Just barbecued them, and it turned out pretty good. They
Yeah.
they were the flavor wasn't too bad. They maybe were on a hair on the dry side, but like we didn't we ate it and wasn't like, well, we're never doing that again. It was decent dinner.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So, yeah,
That's awesome. So you did the barbecue, any special seasoning or?
just barbecue sauce.
Well, barbecue sauce will make anything taste pretty good.
Yeah, I think that's why we did it.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome, man. I'm so excited for you. I'm so
Yeah,
excited for you, and get to kind of walk off with a little success under our belt instead of in a way your success is my success too, because we're doing this podcast together. So
right.
getting to walk away with a little success feels really nice, and at least one of us don't have to get on here and be like, yeah, well, went out and did our thing and didn't come up with anything. So
Yeah,
it's a nice little turn of events.
it is. It's kind of fun to actually, be the one talking of filling the tag instead of then like, well, I don't want to take anything away because I do enjoy our time together and time in the outdoors. Like it's always a great time, but and there's always something that makes it makes the time out there enjoyable or an experience that you don't typically get to have. But it is nice to fill your tag.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, that's really the ultimate goal. So, I think the other stuff just kind of makes us feel better and keeps us going for the next round of tags.
Right. Yeah.
So,
True.
well, like I said, I've already said it, but congratulations and happy for you. And um, it sounds like, I guess is kind of a question and a statement, but it sounds like the consistency, going out every day, getting in, kind of knowing where the turkeys were essentially, was kind of key to your success there.
Yeah.
Being,
And
so
it's kind of funny. Like I think too, what kind of maybe call this section just to kind of give us the direction is well, so where I shot the turkey is where when I went out scouting the weekend before opening is where I kind of saw the turkeys. Like when I was hunting this area because that's when I went out the Saturday before the opener, and this is where I saw turkeys. And then, but I was hunting one side of this ridge for two reasons. Because one, it was kind of easier to get up to, and two, I did see turkeys in that area. But like, but where I ended up getting the turkey was roughly the area that where I was glassing to on the Saturday before the opening of the season, and did see turkeys. So, I guess kind of one of those things, you know, don't be scared to check out where you're seeing them. Had I maybe if I got into this area before, I maybe would have seen success earlier. I don't know, maybe. Oh, and the other interesting thing too is like after I got everything, after I did my grab and grin, um, and videoed and kind of told the story and videoed where it happened, how it happened, throwing my turkey over my shoulder, I heard another gobble. So there's another Tom up there.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. I wish I had a turkey tag in Utah.
Maybe next year we'll have to play it to where, try to figure a way to do Colorado. You do Utah and I do in Idaho.
Colorado, you mean?
Something. What's
Or
that?
you get Colorado, you mean? Or you're
Yeah.
gonna go to Idaho?
No, I don't know why I threw out Idaho. I was thinking Colorado. I don't know why Idaho popped out.
Yeah, that'd be fun. I mean, hopefully we can definitely get that done. I mean, that's definitely the goal eventually with this podcast is doing a little bit of traveling down the road and seeing what we can trying to find success in our home state. I guess you've already found that. So now it's time to try to spread your
Duplicate it.
wings. Yeah, spread
Yeah.
your wings and fly elsewhere.
Yeah.
So well, man, yeah. Yeah, that's awesome. Um well, real quick, um I just want to give a quick shout out. Um Joe noticed it on our Instagram that we got tagged in post a guy by the name of Jaden tagged us with success in his turkey hunt. So
Yeah.
just wanted to give him a shout out if you're listening. Thanks for the tag. That was cool. We love the interaction for sure. So yeah, thanks for tagging us.
And
And
awesome on the success on filling the tag.
yes, for sure, for sure. Um, now since we're done talking about success, I'll go over my weekend real quick. Um, so Joe gets his turkey and I made a little video. I don't know how I'm gonna do the video though. Like, I mean, especially if I end up not getting anything for the year, because I'm like, man, I just have such a problem making all these videos and then like every one of them, and I'm just being transparent here, but every one of them like, well, didn't get nothing today. See you in the next one. Like it just seems kind of insane, I guess. The definition of insanity. But anyway, so I I say that because I was making a little bit of video uh on Sunday, and like I said on the video, what I may or may not put out, I don't know yet, but on the video I was like, I really want to dig deep and try to get me a turkey today, because it's exciting that Joe, you got a turkey, but also like a little friendly competition. Like I feel like I gotta do some catching up now, and
Uh-huh.
so anyways, I I did hunt all day long pretty much, and um I ended up doing like this big old 6 mile loop for the turkey. And long story short, I didn't I didn't even really see many tracks or poop. I didn't see much sign of turkey at all. And then I didn't even see turkey. So the area I was in just must not have just obviously wasn't carrying much turkey or any turkey at all. Or I just wasn't lucky enough to come across them. But it was really nice area. I really liked the area I was hunting, but I mean, I just don't know if I was hunting the right species for that area, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Um, so anyways, I did that 6 mile hike and to back up a little bit more, my son's flag football, I've said it on the podcast the last couple weekends, but um my son's flag football, we were doing that and they had a coaches game this weekend. So I was I did the game and that kind of stuff just makes you realize how out of shape you are. But I was hustling pretty hard, running routes and running around defense and offense. And long story short, I worked pretty hard, and I was a little sore. I felt okay on Sunday morning, but I was a little sore. I was like, man, this hike, it's gonna be pretty treacherous, but I'll get through it. And so I did that 6 mile hike, and um, I went around, and then I went back down on the road, and I was walking back toward the truck, and I'd say about 2.5 miles, maybe 3 miles of the road walk was like all uphill, right? And I'm walking up that hill, and I'm thinking, man, I don't remember climbing this much elevation on whenever I was driving up here, and I'm like, man, this it was getting tiresome. I was getting pretty dang tired, and working it pretty good. And anyways, I get back to the truck, and man, my legs were just shot. I sat down in the truck, and like I couldn't even hardly move my legs after I got back to the truck. That's how tired my legs were just shot. That's how tired I was. So um like I said, did the turkey hunt, didn't come across much. Um I really did not feel like there was not much more walking I could do for the rest of the day. So I just kind of did a little bit of driving around and scouting and seeing what I could come across. Never did really come across much for the rest of the day, but um, so yeah, that's kind of how my weekend was. But I did kind of want to transition into that because I feel like Sunday really, or this weekend altogether, I guess, kind of made me realize I've been doing some workouts and stuff, but um, I I feel like you can never do enough, I guess. I thought I was I've been kind of getting in some decent shape or some kind of shape. I don't know. And I've been, whenever I have been turkey hunting, I've been hiking and everything. And but this weekend really wore me out, which made me realize I'm like, I still got a long ways to go, because this elk season and deer season coming up, if I get my draw, I'm planning on hitting it pretty hard and doing everything I can to find success. And I was like, man, I got so much work to do. I just want to get in really tip top shape. And I mean, that's my goal, is to get in as best shape as I can. So getting tired just isn't an option, or it's not a factor in my hunt. And so, as far as fitness goes, the reason I bring that up is because as far as fitness goes, I'm I'm really working on trying to, just get in the best shape I can for hunt season. And like I said, just not make fitness a factor in it. And I mean, there's I feel like it's all upside. If I can hit that goal, it's all upside from there. Cause uh you know, I'm not gonna I'm gonna I mean, it it'd be nice to be in shape, I guess is what I'm trying to say. I'm
Right.
stumbling over my words for some reason. But anyway, So yeah, it kind of made me think that I need to work a little harder. Another thing that I want to incorporate, I guess what I'm the meat and potatoes of all this is what I want to incorporate is getting used to carrying my pack. I think sometimes, going for a little jog or run or whatever, and you feel great from it, but adding that extra weight, and I don't know if I haven't even weighed my pack, so I don't even know how much it weighs, but um, even if it's 15 to 25 pounds, like it doesn't seem that much, but you do 6 miles in the woods and it gets heavy pretty quick. And so it just made me think, I'm like, that's part of the reason for getting into turkey hunting and on it on its own level too is not only just to hunt turkey, but also to kind of get that extra exercise in and try to get your fitness up for it. But there's, a 3 month gap in between turkey hunting and opening elk and deer. Um, so you got to kind of keep up with it. So my goal for the summer is to try to get out at least once a week or so and do some kind of hiking with my pack just so I can get used to my pack and
Yeah.
get kind of build those muscles. The other thing that I kind of learned was uh there's actually a couple things. So I haven't had much of a problem with this for a while, but I was starting to get some what they call the plantar fasciitis or whatever. And whenever I started working out and losing a few pounds, I started it was it was basically going away. But uh after this weekend, it kind of came back pretty hard. My feet are still a little sore a couple days later. And so I started doing some research and I haven't went for it or I haven't done it yet, but they have this product out there that's kind of targeted toward hunting, and they call it I think they call it sheep feet or something like that. Basically insoles.
Hmm.
And so, but the biggest thing about that though is it kind of made me rethink because of that happening with my feet being real sore and everything. It kind of made me rethink things, and I'm like, it might be worth the investment because to be able to have more stamina out there hunting and doing your thing out there, for more stamina to be able to stay out there and hunt longer and not have your feet as a factor. And so it's something that I'm going to start looking into. I did get some Dr. Scholl's uh foot cushion or whatever. So, I'm hoping that that kind of helps, but I'm really thinking about making the investment into those sheep feet. It's kind of cool. Once you sign up for it or whatever, they send you like this little foam box, and you put your feet in there and basically make a mold, and then
Okay.
you send it back to them, and then they it's a custom fitted sole that they do, and kind of do the whole thing that way. So kind of a neat little process, it seems like. So one of these days I'll probably get into that. But for now, I'm trying the Dr. Scholl's soles out and seeing if that works. But like I said, I mean, the biggest thing is I love being out there and doing that thing, but uh I feel like I'm kind of going all over the place with this, but fitness and making sure that my feet ain't hurting, I think
Right.
is a big is a big thing. And yeah, it was crazy weekend with that hike though. So it really taught me a lot, just trying to get in more shape or in better shape rather, and and just keep plugging away. I feel like the older you get, I mean, I'm in my mid 30s, and the older you get, just the recovery time and everything when we were younger, you'd get a little discomfort for a day or so, and then you'd be healed up and ready to go again or whatever, or you wouldn't feel any discomfort at all.
Right.
You kind of realize that you're getting a little older whenever you're making a whole subject about your
Feet comfort.
your feet
Yeah,
comfort
being out of shape
being out of shape. So,
and not liking it.
and not liking it exactly. But yeah, it's it is what it is. So got lot to do this summer, but I have some big goals, and I'm hoping I get there eventually, and we make some progress. I have another weekend of turkey hunting, so I'm gonna try my best to get out there and try to seal the deal. Uh, I just keep coming short on not being able to see a turkey. I was gonna ask you a question though with that.
Uh-huh.
Your turkey hunt, you talked about glassing. Now I did a little bit of glassing, but I haven't done that much. Do you think that was a kind of a critical part of your success?
Yes, because uh had I it for two reasons is like I said, one is I found them when I was scouting. That's where I saw them because I was glassing. And then like the last time why I was in that area is I found them again because you know, I saw them while I was glassing again. Like, so like that's why I went up in that area because that's where I was seeing them. But
Yeah.
I didn't happen to it wasn't like I was glassing for hours. Uh what was it, Monday night? I saw them, did a little hiked around this little ridge, and then I popped off to one side, and then I started glassing this ridge, and I was only glassing for 20 minutes, or maybe not even 20 minutes, 5 minutes, and that's when I spotted them. But I think too is knowing that uh turkeys, it seems like what I've been able to pick up is turkeys have a routine that they don't typically deviate unless they get pushed.
Right.
And so, that's I think why I saw them is because they were going through their routine, and I just happened to be at the right place at the right time to see them. Is all. Not like I was like, oh, this looks like turkey areas, but more it was I've seen turkeys in this area, so I'm gonna spend some time in this area.
I think there's something to say about that. I know last year I haven't seen them in the same spot this year, but last year I talked about it in the podcast last year, but it was in this private area that I can't hunt or anything, but there was this group of turkeys that I saw every time I drove up there in that same spot. I'd see them right there in that area every time. And yeah, they, like you said, they kind of didn't deviate from their area. They were kind of right there every time I drove up there. So that makes sense that they would kind of hang out in the same spot,
Yeah.
which could be beneficial using your Onyx.
Right.
And you see a turkey and just mark it every time you see it, kind of help
Yeah.
you seal the deal.
Right.
Which I think this weekend when I go turkey hunting, I'm gonna abandon the area that I haven't been seeing any turkey and go to where I have been.
And I like, just try the other thing too. I don't know if it'll help where you're at, but I was only at about 4,000 feet. Granted, the turkeys I'm hunting are probably a different not, like what I mean by that is like, they were somewhat close to town, but on the other hand of that too, like I haven't seen turkeys much further up the hill. I have, so like what I mean is after all the years I've spent kind of up in the hills up here, like, this was I've seen them a little bit higher than where I got my turkey this year. It was probably only, another thousand, maybe not even 1,000 feet higher than that. But, like there seems to be like a band of elevation in this area where they reside in.
That's an interesting thought. That might be where I'm making my mistake because I was pretty high. I think I was about 9,500 feet this last weekend. So
Was there
I should have.
a water source?
Yeah, there's a ton of water up there.
Okay.
Matter of fact, whenever I was seeing the water, I was kind of got me excited, thinking, "Oh, I don't see why I couldn't come across some turkey up in here," but I never did. So, oh,
Gotcha.
I might just have to, hit the chalkboard and make different plans, especially for next year. But even this weekend, I think I'm just gonna go up where I've said it before in the podcast, but the areas that I work, there's some public in there, so I'll just try to go in those public areas because I've seen them throughout that area, and I'll just try to go up in the public and see what I can
And I would say
come
too is
across.
one of the things I want to get better at is I you know I talk about hunting, I talk about wanting to be a better hunter, but I have not been doing the things to become a better hunter. Like the easy things. And what I mean by that is uh finding an app or finding something that makes what a hen, I guess, in heat, or what a hen, whatever a hen does, or however it calls, to let the tom know that she's ready for him. I haven't really, I've listened to how people call, but I have not sat down and try to mimic how they're calling, or really just let that sound play over and over in my head, or not in my head, but through my speakers or whatever, and just listen to it, just and tried to understand what the different sounds that a turkey makes and what type of year a turkey is going to make those different sounds.
Yeah, I'm a one trick pony. I do the same thing every time, just uh half-hearted chirps,
Right.
and that's like the only trick in my book that I the only call that I know how to make, and I don't even know if I make it completely right. But with that said, though, they say they do say that uh, actual turkeys don't always make the cleanest, most prettiest calls either. So,
Right.
and I've had turkeys chirp back at me. Well, gobble back at me, I guess, whenever I've laid out my bugles or my gobbles, or my chirps rather. So, I mean, I don't know. I think it works to some extent. Maybe not the best, but it works to some extent. So,
Yeah.
I think that's all a guy can do, right? Is just kind of start out with what they know, or do the
Right.
best they can, and then build upon
Right.
that.
But the like on the other side of that too is that like all this information is pretty much free to learn. The other side of it, it's not like you have to pay someone to learn it. It's just, are you doing that to learn it,
Yeah.
or what's needed to learn it? But
I'd say that's where I fall short sometimes too, just trying to set a time aside, set aside the time to to learn all that stuff and make it happen. You kind of gave me a good idea though. Um, like build an app of some sort that during certain hunt seasons kind of like have an app downloaded that would send you notifications or something about like what each species is doing, so like because like you said, the information's out there, but sometimes you just don't think about looking it up. But you know what time periods that turkeys are probably the hottest, with their gobbles and raring to go when they're settling down more, and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like kind of, or
Yeah.
I'm sure you could figure out a way to do that to where it just like pop up on your phone and be like, this week what you want to look out for is this, this, and this. And then same
Right.
for like deer and elk, like certain times of the year,
Yeah.
like, I mean, it'd be a little bit general information, but I mean, I think I could see where, you get a rough idea, like, oh, well, in theory, they should, the buck should be starting their rut here soon, or
Right.
it'd be kind of a cool little app, I think.
True.
Well, and really what it does is it solves a problem. The problem is you looking up the information yourself, or it just coming to you at a drop
Yeah.
of a hat. I mean,
Yeah.
that's kind of what we all want at the end of the day anyways, right? So
Right.
I think it'd be kind of a cool app. Hopefully
Yeah.
nobody steals it, because I'm gonna build it.
True. But with
um
that being said, we want to start winding down a little bit here. Anything you want to? I mean, we talk about bow practice or some scouting or um,
yeah, yeah, let's try to throw both of those in at the same time, I guess, a little bit. uh I know you want to start off with the scouting.
yeah. So August is going to be getting here pretty quickly. Whereas I know that I'm just hunting elk this year, and I have two different spots, for the just for the cow and spike only areas, and then for a general bull. I don't know if I'll head up there. I'd like to get up there to the general bull area and do some scouting, but I don't know that I'll make it. But here shortly, I think I'll be able to. I don't know that I can, but I think it's still snow packed up where I'll be hunting in
Mm.
August. And what I mean is, like, I don't know if the roads are passable now or not. So, um, but that's coming up. Getting my trail cameras ready. I figured out one of my issues that for my new trail camera that I told you, like the battery, um, like dropped significantly within an hour or 45 minutes. But I found a setting and then the last time I kind of played with it, it held the battery life for a good, I think it was 8 hours. Like I was only at, I think it maybe dropped 2 or 3% in 8 hours. So I kind of got that figured out. So be setting those out there shortly. But yeah, but like I said, no deer tag this year. So all my time's going to be focused on elk hunting. I'll be making myself a game plan. I've been doing a lot of thinking, trying to think out the hunt scenarios, uh, thinking where I'm going to look, how, how I know it sounds crazy, but how I'm going to look, trying to make, think about how I'm going to walk quietly. I know it sounds kind of, I don't know, over the top, but, I'm just trying to get my mind into that space to hopefully when the hunt hits, I'm there. My head is in the game.
Yeah, for sure. I couldn't agree more. I think that's what I need to start doing this year. That's kind of my goal for elk. I don't know if I'm gonna get a deer tag or not. Still waiting on the results of the draw, so we'll see what happens. But I'm hoping that I get one, but or get a deer tag. But yeah, I'm gonna do the same. One of my goals is for more scouting, uh, kind of getting to know some areas, maybe even walk through them a little bit, and earlier in the season, um, But then also something else that I have a goal for this summer is kind of way out base, but it just kind of hit my mind is a little more fishing, just relaxing and fishing a little bit, man. We get so focused on all this elk stuff, and then I don't even get fishing in. So I want to do a little more fishing this year, but the point is just being out in the outdoors. That's really what the goal is. So uh, plan on doing some fishing and hanging out in the woods and having fun, and then uh, it's short distance, but I've been working with my bow a little bit. Uh, I feel like it's been like a few weekends or a few weeks that I haven't really shot my bow much, and then it just kind of dawned on me, and I was like, man, I need to get out there, and I just do it in the backyard here, and I just shoot 15, 20 arrows and then hang it up for the night, but just trying to get that rhythm down. The only thing that I gotta work on a little bit is my distance. I gotta go out somewhere and work on some distance so I'm not just so used to
Right.
one or 15 yards. I'm getting out there 20, 30, 40.
Right.
So but it's exciting. I'm having fun with my bow. I love shooting that bow. It's just so much fun. The thing I love about it the most is kind of that 15, 20 minutes I'm putting into doing that. Just kind of like, uh, you know, my mind's just focused on that one thing and kind of, kind of a reliever or a release, I guess.
Gotcha.
So, so yeah, that's what I'm working on. This, like I said, this weekend, uh, gonna try to get my last weekend of turkey hunting in. Hopefully I can seal the deal on something, but if not, then at least I donated my money to CPW.
Doing a good deed.
I'm doing a good deed. So, with that said, Joe, do you have any more closing thoughts?
Uh, just season's coming up. Like we just said, Eric said, practicing the bow, start doing these little things now, just as a reminder. Uh, so that way when the hunt gets here, you're ready. Um, or at least if you can't do them, think about them, read about them, listen to podcasts about, like that, what is them, the judging yards, scouting, understanding how your bow works, what the animals may be doing in the time that you're going to be hunting them. Uh, you know, start now, and hopefully then by then when the hunt gets here, you got a little bit more info when you're on it ready. But with that said, like, subscribe, tell a friend. Um, hopefully you find something worth your time listening to us. If hopefully you get a good laugh or maybe a nugget of something, remind you, if anything, reminds you to do something to help you to better yourself. But with that, I don't have anything else. What about you, Eric?
No, sounds good. Just consider subscribing, share with a friend. If you're already listening this long, you probably are subscribed. So just share with a friend, tell them about us. They're much appreciated. And we will see you guys in the next one. Thanks for listening. Have a good night or
Good
day,
night.
whatever time you're listening to this. Later.
Awesome.